All right, hello, welcome to this Pine Barrens news update. We have some news on the Pine Barrens to talk about with you, and that is following up on this situation here at Deer Park with the cars parked in the trees, and this is also a fire hazard, by the way. This could start a forest fire, and the homeless living there. I want to follow up on that because I made some phone calls today. Unfortunately, this is not part of the Edgewood Preserve, the land that I'm talking about that's directly across the train station. It is jointly owned by the town of Islip as well as privately owned. So what I did was I wound up calling the Suffolk County Police Department about this, and they really didn't seem to be wanted to be bothered about this. That's the sad thing. They didn't even seem to want to be bothered about this. They just said, well, if you're there and you see them next time, call 911 right away. I guess that's what I'll have to do. But they didn't seem to be too interested. I said, well, can't you just send a car down and look? I'm like, not really. And then they also brought up, well, if we kick them out of there, then they'll just go somewhere else. This is the problem. They refuse treatment. And the other phone call I made was to the legislator in that district, I think it was the 17th district. I'm not sure if I remember the number. The Suffolk County legislature, who I also spoke with, she was completely unaware that there was an issue with the homeless and the trash. Completely unaware of it. But I told her about it, and she said she's going to look into it, but she once again made excuses for them. She said, well, you know what do you want the police to do? They're going to come in, they're going to refuse to go into a program, and then they'll just go somewhere else. She said they can't be arrested. They can't be arrested, which is, I think, ridiculous. I'm sorry, but if you don't want to go into a program, then you should be arrested. You can't be living in the woods. You can't be living like this. It's not it should not be allowed. It's illegal. All right? And this is not, they don't own that land, so they don't have a right to be there, living there, and throwing trash everywhere. And then I was telling her, well, they're hanging their clothes on the trees. And she said, well, they're just drying their clothes. It's their home. I'm like, give me a break. Yeah, she is a Democrat, by the way. All right? Give me a break. This is the problem with the government here. They make excuses. And so basically, I'm trying my best to bring it. I also brought this issue up to the Pine Barrens, the Long Island Pine Barrens Society. Maybe they can get involved with this. And this is what I mean with Long Island. Meanwhile, I'm going to read to you an article next about New Jersey. Now, there was a very similar project. It was a similar project compared to the Heartland Town Square project at the Pilgrim site. There was a similar project on a former Heritage Minerals site in Manchester, New Jersey. But the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection rejected the project. They put their foot down and said, no, this is not acceptable in the Pine Barrens. And I'm going to read that article to you right now. All right, so I'm going to read this article to you about the the New Jersey DEP denying the Heritage Development Plan. As you can see, this is the site that they're talking about in Manchester Township. I'm going to read this to you. We've talked about this here on this channel before, how the project would have been horrible, and finally the cards are now falling down, and this project is looking less and less likely. So in Manchester, the Township, the Department of Environmental Protection denied the plan to build a large development on the former Heritage Minerals site. A 23-page report states the applicant failed to meet the requirements of the Coastal Zone Management Rules and therefore denied their CAFRA permit. This stands for Coastal Area Facilities Review Act, and it governs building near any bodies of water. The developer, Hobson's, would be eligible for a hearing to state their case. According to the letter, Hobson's was applying for 3,862 single-family homes, apartments, and townhouses, 40,000 square feet of commercial space, a clubhouse, and recreation facilities. The development would have been on 1,008 acres, leaving 2,916 acres of the property largely undisturbed. The DEP made a number of points opposing the development, including the development plan did not address contamination already on the site from mining, threatened and endangered wildlife may be affected, aquifer recharging might be impacted, and it exceeds the allowed population density in the pinelands, and that it would result in significant and adverse traffic. Mayor Ken Palmer declined to comment on the denial until he read it himself. The DEP, Hobson's, the Pinelands Commission, and Manchester Township had originally agreed to a settlement in 2004. That would have been for 2,200 homes, with a development of 995.4 acres, with 6,179.7 acres in the property to be preserved. But even that, people are fighting it. This is New Jersey. They care about the Pine Barrens here, and they want to keep the Pine Barrens preserved. And Long Island needs to. We need to pay attention to what they're doing in New Jersey and do it here. It's about time. All right, so let's take a look at the area that we are talking about here. It is Manchester Township, which is somewhat north and west of Toms River, more west of Toms River. There's Toms River right over here, the area they want to they had planned to build this big project was in this area here, just north of Crystal Lake, and this is an old mining site an old sand mining site that's being reclaimed by nature. And so I'm very glad to see the state of New Jersey, at least, really appreciates its pines and protects them from overdevelopment. So this is the area that we are talking about here. You have these lakes that were created from the sand mining process, and then all around just nothing but pines. I don't see any pictures in here to show you. Anyway, this is the area that we are talking about here. All right, so you can see this is all on the northern western edge of the Pine Barrens here in New Jersey, and this is the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. Look at this whole area here. Very little development. It's very excellently preserved. This goes on for lots and lots of miles, all right? But when we go and we look at Long Island, our Pine Barrens are much smaller. There's a lot more development. You can see that right away. This is the area here where it says Long Island State Pine Barrens. Generally, the main area is right over here. All right, but yet our New York State DEC has not stepped in to stop projects such as the plans at the EPCAL site. All right, which there shouldn't be any development here. This is the Pine Barrens here. All right, the New York State DEC should say no. They should do the same thing New Jersey's doing and put a stop to any more development plans in this area, which is a very rural area. Calverton is a mix of farms and Pine Barrens and fields, and it should stay that way. We have enough built-up areas as it is. All right, we don't need any more. And another project that could have been stopped is the Southampton Hills, the Quag Hills project, which they want to put right over here in this area. All right, which again is right in the middle of the Pine Barrens. So why isn't New York State DEC trying to stop this development? Why aren't they trying to stop it? I don't know. What is wrong with our state, and why aren't they doing enough to protect the Pine Barrens? You know what's wrong with this state, and it's Governor Andrew Cuomo, all right? Because he doesn't care about the Pine Barrens. It's just more proof that our state is falling way behind New Jersey when it comes to preservation of the Pine Barrens. And then we have the plans at near Deer Park. This project here that they want to build on the former Pilgrim ground, the Heartland Town Square project that they want to build right here in this huge undeveloped area here. They want to build, and the area where we saw all those the cars parked on the grass, and the homeless living in the woods. That's this area of woods right here, by the train station. All right, actually you can see the garbage. This is how sad it is. You can actually see the trash on the satellite. That's how sad that is. You can actually see, and I see a blue tarp over here. I'm wondering if there's another camp of homeless people over here. That's not the spot they're living in, though. The spot they're living in is over here, the one that I saw anyway. But yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on Long Island. But New Jersey, once again, gets it right. We need to be more like New Jersey. We have to take a stand to protect the Pine Barrens. I continue to do that because there are many voices out there to speak up for the Pine Barrens. So it's unfortunate that New York does not want to take its Pine Barrens seriously. We always play second fiddle here on Long Island to the upstate, and they just don't give the Pine Barrens the attention it needs. We need New York State to step up to the plate and follow what New Jersey is doing, because New Jersey is like completely different. All right, they care about their pines. They are preserving the pines. The state is stepping in, stopping these developments, and even the counties like Ocean County were always preserving land, and Suffolk could definitely learn a thing from them. But they are they're stopping these developments, and they have a forestry service. They make sure that the forests, the trash is cleaned up. People, they have tough enforcement against the trash. They have they do controlled burns. This way, you don't have uncontrolled wildfires. Their pine barrens are healthier because fires are allowed there, and pitch pines need fire to survive, whereas on Long Island they're suppressed. And I think, lastly, it just says it because this says it all, that New Jersey actually has a pinelands plate for the Pine Barrens. They have a license plate you can get that funds preservation of the Pine Barrens. New York doesn't have any of that. So my message to folks in New York, and it's not just the governor, it's everybody running this state, look at what New Jersey's doing. Let's do it here. Let's start giving the Long Island Pine Barrens the respect it deserves. It shouldn't be a dumping ground for homeless, trash, and terrible development plans. No, it should be preserved. The state DEC needs to step in and stop these projects. Just like what New Jersey's doing, they need to stop the Heartland project. They need to come in and stop the development plans at EPCAL, and they need to come in and stop the development plans in Quogue. That's what they need to do. We need to follow New Jersey's lead. Anyway, thank you for watching, and again, we have an election coming up in November. Remember what Andrew Cuomo, even if you're an environmentalist hardcore thinking the Democrats are going to look out for your environmental needs, Cuomo has been the worst governor in the history of New York State for the Pine Barrens. Keep that in mind. Anyway, that's going to conclude this video. Thank you for watching.